This morning we're going to do an oil change on a 2018 Infiniti QX60. As a first step, we put the vehicle up on rhino ramps using jack stands as a secondary precaution. I enter the vehicle through the driver's side door and then pull the hood release latch. The secondary latch is right here. It's marked by a yellow thing just to open it up. So then looking at from the front of the engine, or in the front of the car into the engine bay, we can see the oil fill cap is here and the oil dipstick is here. It's denoted by this yellow ring. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the oil fill cap. Sometimes they're a little tight, and so you might need to get a wrench or something to loosen them up. We're going to take this off, and then I'm just going to set it back on top. Next, I'm going to go underneath the car and find the oil. Okay, so this right here, looking out from underneath the front of the vehicle, like this right here is your oil pan. Right over here next to the wheel, right up and through here, right next to the oil pan, right through here, this is where the oil filter is. So the filter is right here just off. You have to reach up on this side and kind of push this back a little bit to get to it. But here is the oil pan, right here is the oil drain plug, and I believe it's a 14mm socket. So give me a second. I'm going to put the oil catch pan underneath the oil drain plug. I've taken my 14mm socket. I make sure that it's the correct one. Put it on the thing, put it on the oil drain plug, and pull. This should be about 25 foot-pounds of torque. Pressure, I'll have to look that up to double check. But so it's sometimes it's a little bit to get it to go. I like to use a longer extension when I go to pull this off. So then that way I can keep my hands a little cleaner. And I don't drop the plug into the oil. So then I'm going to take the oil drain plug and I'm going to wipe it off with a towel or a paper towel or a rag or whatever. The idea is while that's draining out, I want to make sure that I clean this off and get this all cleaned up and I don't see any corrosion or any debris or anything that shouldn't be there. So okay, while this finishes, we're going to go ahead and pull the oil filter off. So I grabbed some excess paper towels, and what I'm doing is I'm going to set this underneath where the oil filter is, kind of laying it on this part of the engine right here, or I mean on the body, the frame right here, in part because this is more likely than not going to kind of leak all over, and I would like to catch as much of it as I can. Now this should be hand tight, so I should just be able to turn it without any issue. Oh. There we go. And because it's kind of horizontal, it's a pretty good chance a lot of this oil is going to drip out, which is the purpose of the rag or the paper towel. And as you can see, I got most of it to drip off from the rag into the oil pan. Okay, so you want to take a paper towel and go up and wipe where the oil filter was, because there's quite a bit of dirty oil up there now. You also want to make sure that you wipe along the one part where the ring where it's going to seal. In addition, you want to make sure that you wipe down any of this excess that oil that might have gotten on the frame, and then wipe down a little bit of that excess there. All right, so what you want to do is you want to get out your new filter, and you just want to kind of compare it to the other one. Don't touch, but as you can see, the ring size is the same, and it's roughly about the same size. It's okay if it's a little bit longer. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take hold on, sorry. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of the new oil and rub it on the ring of this new filter. This will help create a better seal. And you want to use the new oil, not the old oil, because I mean dirty oil would be like kind of like rubbing dirt on it. Okay, just like before, we're going to take this, we're going to slide it up into that spot right up there where the oil filter goes. And you just want to take your time with this to make sure that you get it on and you get it threaded right. And then you just want to make it hand tight. So then that way you get a good seal. But it's also, it'll come off later, next time when you go to change your oil. Next step is we're going to take the oil drain plug and we're going to put it back up into the oil pan. So same thing, you just want to kind of clean off that one part to make sure that there's going to be a good seal. And then let me get my torque wrench. Okay, so we're going to turn this to 25 foot-pounds of torque. And so that's going to get us to that line right there at the 0. So just like that. I'm going to lock it in place and then torque it. So you want to move out your oil catch pan. And you just want to go till you hear that snap. So we're going to replace the oil that's in there with the AMSOIL 100% synthetic motor oil, the Signature Series. This is the OW20 is what we're going to do. It takes 5.1 quarts. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this gallon, which is 4 quarts, and this quart bottle here to do our 5. And then we'll use this one as our, to get it to where we need to be after we start it up, run it, and then level it out, and then make sure that we've got the right amount in there. Okay, so we're going to remove the oil fill cap. We're going to put in our filter, our funnel, and then we're going to pour. Okay, so we poured in the 4 quarts. Now we're going to add the 5th quart. and I'm going to remove the funnel. I'm going to replace the oil fill cap, and we're going to start the engine. So we're going to let it run for a couple minutes, about a minute or whatever, and what we're doing is we're going to check for leaks. So now that we let it run for about a minute, as you can see there's no oil, but I'm going to just double check. So I take my hand, put it under here, take the rag, even look, nothing, like no leaks, like we're good. So we're going to take it off the jack stands, level it out, and then we're going to finish filling to check to see how far off we are. And so just so you can kind of see while it's clean, that's the mark, that right there, that's the low mark, and that's the high mark. And so we want to be somewhere in between there. Well, we'll give it another minute just to let it rest to see if it settles down. I think it still might be draining into the pan. We're right up almost to that full mark. Let's check the back side.
Done?
We're a little less. Then over the next couple days, I'll double check it a couple more times to make sure that we're at the right level. But we're right up almost against that full mark. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the hood, and we're gonna call it good.